Okay, so this week's video I've been fairly busy, or quite a lot busy actually. Stuck quite a few hours into it. I'll show you basically what I've been up to. I'll go around the car and show you what I've been doing. You'll notice quite a few changes. Some things which have sort of been done before, but then when the gull wings came out and went for a removable door instead, that basically changed things a little bit, the fitment and everything else. So I've basically got everything coming along quite nicely now on this side. It's almost there, to be fair. It just needs some lines tidying up and a few bits of sanding and flattening here and there, but not bad at all. So I'll run through it. So basically the front wings had a bit of a flat. That was kind of already done anyway, with the front wing there all around the wheel. That was all pretty much done anyway, so that was all good. It's been tidied up a bit on the rear section here. There's a little bit of a concave dip in there, so that's basically been sorted. The door and sort of this section here, obviously originally the door came to here, and obviously now it's this section instead that comes out round there, and obviously that all like top piece. So all this piece obviously has been made before. That's now been flatted back, long blocked and everything else. It's fitting quite nicely, to be fair. Looks alright. All the sill and everything's all good. The mirror's obviously back on, that's on before, that's fine. I've been doing some work on this side as well. All this, so the door fitment, let's come down here. The door fitment is looking really good. I say there's things like this sort of top end, which I'm just working on this top edge at the moment. You'll see why, because I'm tidying up lines and stuff here. I've made all this the right sort of shape at least. It just needs tidying up around the actual lines to get it spot on. It's nowhere near spot on yet. It's got to be sorted, but it's not. Well, I suppose it's not horrendous, but it's definitely sorted out. You can see where the idea is going to be with the sort of the seamless windows. One big piece. Basically, that's the idea. So it doesn't look like there's any gaps. Should look quite good. I've sort of put a line in, even though it doesn't need to be here, where the door comes down here. I think it looks quite good, having like a line rather than just a big chunk. I sort of messed up a little bit here, so I've got to do a bit more filler work and get this line back in properly, but you get the idea with that. I just ran out of time today to do that. The fitment itself for the door, that's pretty good. A lot better than it was from factory, to be honest, even because I had rubbers in there before, obviously. So the door used to sit very much slightly out from factory. It's pretty much a pretty good line now, to be honest. It's not bad at all, is it? Can't complain at that. I'm sure some people will. Again, not finished. It's only on 40 grit. There's no 240 grit. There's no rounding off. Nothing like that gone on yet. So that will all be sorted. This door panel fits nice around along here. I've recut the line for the door here to match up with where the window is. That's now in, fully in. Goes around there. Let's tidy up round all underneath here. All this rear quarter has been done. The whole thing is now flatted. Yeah, the whole thing is flatted now. Just the last pieces of slightly high spot here and various other little bits. I've got to do some priming on it so you can see exactly where I am and how it's looking, see if there's no ripples or anything. This section here as well, a full rebuild down here, because when the door didn't quite fit right, this was it kind of went sort of dipped in there and then came out, which it shouldn't be. Should be nice and smooth, like a curve around the back, which now is pretty much spot on there now. Looking good. It's difficult to tell with with no primer on, obviously, because it just looks like loads of patches of all sorts, but it's obviously just bits of old colours and stuff underneath. Looks like a patchwork quilt currently. But you can see all the doors are coming along nicely. All the seams are there. They just need a bit of tidying up again. This door itself does come off, which I'll show you in part 2 of this video. But unfortunately, when I did take it off today, I dropped it on my foot. And I think I may have broken my toe, but it doesn't matter. I won't stop doing these things. It's either very badly bruised or broken. I'm not sure which, but the door's about probably 40 kilos already, so it's heavy to be honest. I'll take you around the back because there's some work around the back happened, and then I'll do the part 2 of the inside of the door. I'm still walking around, right? So hopefully, you never know, it might be bruised. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I've been doing a load of work under here. So I've been smoothing off all these sections. There's a bit more work to do here. As you can see, there's a bit of fiberglass to go in there, which I hadn't noticed before, to be honest. But there's some bits and bobs here. There's a bit of fiberglass to do in the centerpiece there, because that used to be like a metal, like a wooden, was it wooden or metal? Can't remember. was like a stand thing here, like a section that attached to the box, and I used to have to miss that, but it won't have to miss it anymore because it's in there. So that's basically been fiberglassed over. I've got to get the shape right, so you can see how it's bigger over that side than this side, so I've got to make sure they match up. But all the filler work has started along all this. Also, the fiberglass is already done. Hang on, around here. So all the fiberglass work's been done here, inside here, where the cables ran. And obviously I've filled it as well. There's some filler work going on here. So it's basically literally first layer, so I've not even sanded this. This is done about 10 minutes ago. But you can see how it's basically all going to be nice and smooth, right up to the window line underneath. It's going to look quite tidy, that, to be honest. Once it's all smoothed in nicely, it's going to be the same there. It's going to be kind of smooth across there. I've got to fiberglass that as well. Yeah, should be quite good. And then all this piece over this side hasn't had anything done with it yet at all, apart from some coatings of filler. But yeah, you get the idea. Looking pretty good. But I'll do a part 2, as I say, with the inside of the door, because I've done the inner door shut as well. So I'll do a video of that, and then let me know what you think. Okay, it's part 2. You can see, well, things haven't changed a lot in here, but everything basically was rough before. I don't know if you've seen on previous videos. All this is basically rough. This has had 1, maybe 2 layers of filler. I think 2 layers of filler in some of this. And all these bits where they're all going to be sorted out in the corners here. Just needs flattening back, some low spots. But yeah, I've got some nice sort of seals now. Well, not seals, but shuts, should we say? That's the word I was looking for. Some shuts along here. It's all smooth along here now. This is all smoothed off. Just needs bit of TLC really. I haven't done as much work in here, to be fair. Tiny bit at the bottom here needs looking at, but you can see how it's basically come along quite nice. That's all going to be nice and smoothed in. This is all smoothed in. This wasn't before. This was all rough before. There's nothing there that was working very well. The window is all sealed in. That's got a tiger seal behind it, and now basically making it into the actual right shape. So it basically fits the window properly. So a nice kind of seamless blackness, so to speak, on that. So this will basically be like an extension of the glass, if that makes sense. So that'll be slightly changed here, basically slightly going over the edges there. You can see where it doesn't quite fit at the top there, in the very top corner. So that basically flattened over, filled slightly, flattened over, and then it'll be make a whole section here along here, make sure it's all nice and narrow. It's actually fine down the bottom here, it's just the top piece. Difficult to explain really, but you'll know what I mean when it's finished. The same in this corner as well, just needs a little bit of rounding off basically, just to get that the right shape. And in this corner here, corners are always the tricky part, but it's one of those things. But yeah, there you go, that's where I am. So let me know what you think about this week's update. There's quite a lot going on. No idea what we're doing next week, probably finishing a bit more of this, so and then doing probably some other bits and bobs, probably in the boot and that. So yeah, feel free to comment, subscribe if you can as well, if you want to see progress, and I shall do another update soon.